Hey everybody, it's Christina Blackfeather here again, fighting with the camera. Anyway, thought we would continue with Cypress the Kirin. Of course, let me go through and do my usual checks. Make sure everything's going smoothly. That looks like it's okay. And I got sound. Awesome. Okay. Edit that quick. YouTube's being kind of snarky tonight, so we'll see how this goes. So do some editing quick. All right. I think I got that. And that looks like that's up on it's been shared to Google Plus. Make sure I can get back to it again before we go any further. Just because YouTube's being that goofy tonight. Alrighty. Still got sound. And waggly fingers. Okay. A little bit of lag there, but it is what it is. So to drink tonight, I have some Crystal Light. Had been out walking today. Did a lot of Pokemon gathering, so just a really nice day today. Photographed some of the weird statues in my area. We've got some weird ones in Minneapolis. Anyway, some of the other things I've been working on lately. Little Mr. I have to get the spider web itself really nice and neat. And then I should be able to have this as earrings or set them on a piece of rock or something. But I've been making these little crazy spiders. They're just kind of fun. Only concern I have is this is going to get so caught in my hair, I don't know what to do with it. Let's zoom the camera in just a little bit. Yeah, there's Spidey. Creepy Spidey. I'm weird. So I did get some extra work done on Cypress. And I hope I'm going to be able to have him done by Friday or Saturday. At least be able to get him listed on eBay. But he's got his second leg now. He started getting some tufts of hair. I wanted to go with an off color that was different than his body so it wouldn't blend in. I'm not sure. Normally they'll have scales down the tail and stuff, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to pull that off. If I might do a blanket, almost like a Appaloosa type blanket of just browns and then do the white fawn spots in here, or if I'm going to have it the scales be the same color as this. Not really sure. So that's where I'm kind of stuck at the moment. Yeah, I wanted it to just be able to stand out a little bit more and kind of limited on what colors I got, you know? So, don't know where my 3-prong needle tool is right at the moment. It's someplace. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to make the back legs for Cypress today. Which actually means I need to work on this part more, at least get the base colors in. So we'll do that first. just getting some wool here, breaking it apart. I also need some of that really pale yellow I had. There it is. There. It's broke apart. Good. And probably a little bit more of the pale greens, or the forest greens. Okay. And might as well get some music on in the background or something. So let's look at that. The other thing I'm going to do is put my GoFundMe in the chat. Once I remember what I'm doing. Lord. There we go. All right, and let's see what we can find on YouTube for some background music. And then we need something kind of fun. Oh, of course. Non Sequitur is going to be on tonight in a half hour about Jilly Juice and Danny Glass. I don't know who Danny Glass is. So this might be short tonight if I don't get any viewers at all. Well, let's see what kind of... I want some music. And I don't want a 3-minute video. Here we go. Let's see about this one.
I love what you two are doing with this house, but what are you going to do with 5 bedrooms? You guys are obviously never having kids.
What was that look? I did not.
Don't care. Not great speakers on this laptop. I apologize in advance. There we go. All right. Now the other thing I got here is I have a little more muted tones than what I pulled out of my gigantic clump. So let's see what else I got here. Again, it's being streamed on my phone, so if calls come through, there will be issues. I'm probably going to felt right over top of this with this blanket color, of course, but right now I need to have something here telling me what's going on. And I'm working on a hemp necklace for somebody that they ordered one sent me their horse's hair and stuff, and I braided part of it and then realized I had to re-braid it because I anchored things down and then forgot that I had to slide beads over everything. So I had to pull it all apart and start right over again, and I was getting irritated. Let's see. Are we gonna, first off, he is angled this way a little bit, so there's going to need to be a little bit more right in here, which will come from his other leg when I apply that. So let's do this. That might be a little loud. tomorrow I'm going to try and set up Google Hangout to get used to hosting, because next weekend is the event that Shar Roombeams and several others are putting on for me to help with my surgery costs. So I'm going to be hosting with RSC, and we're going to be discussing the current healthcare system in the United States, and it's going to be hosted on this channel, so it'll be the first time I'm hosting live like that, I think. No, wait a minute, I did it once with Deconverted Man in Minecraft. Oh, I gotta remember how to do that. Oh, still. Not overly sure on that color. But if I do anything else, it's gonna just look really, really plain. So I think I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and go with it. I watched, I was in their live chat, this other YouTuber that does Native American weavings, and her channel name is Weaving Illustrator. And she does all the finger weaving. Really awesome stuff, so I thought I'd give her a shout out. I was watching her when she was doing a flame pattern. It was all these brightly colored yarns, and just amazing the detail she got so quickly. Okay. Let's, I'm gonna try to share this to Facebook too. Anything else I can share too? I don't have a Reddit. Don't know how that happened. Okay. Let's share one more time on G+. And then, oops. Come on. I'm gonna have to log into MeWe again. Still not overly thrilled with that, with what's happening with Google+. was kind of sad. We had so many nice communities and people, you know, that I've talked to for years. And no. Just really kind of sad. There. Okay. Back. Got the technical stuff done. I did. Okay, let's see. Where are we going with your little tail thing here? Let's go this way. I want to use all of this up if I can help it, but I don't think I'm going to have a choice. He needs some belly floof. And I have to get this in out of the way before I start attaching the legs that he's going to be laying on. One's going to be out this way, but the other one's going to be underneath. And in order to get the sculpture to look right, I'm going to have to take that back leg and have it over top of his belly. So I need to sculpt the details underneath first. And it'll just look right doing that. I know some people would probably just, you know, add a little tube there and just start sculpting around it and not go into that much detail, but I've been around too many horses and too many artists my whole life that I just don't want to shortchange. I mean, he doesn't have an armature and he's not going to be able to move, but doggone it, he's going to have 4 real legs. Unfortunately, I have been very, very bad with my diet. It's been a lot of emotional eating this week. I think I've just been hungry for anything and everything. And, you know, Tuesday we put our cat Mina to sleep. She had cancer and it just spread really fast and was all over. And what we thought was a respiratory wasn't. So we ended up, there wasn't anything we could do by that point. So Mina's gone, so she won't be on my desk anymore when I'm trying to do these live streams. And that's just been really hard. And how we got her in the first place, she was a Humane Society foundling, of course. And we went and had gone, and they had, you know, this doorway going into the room for the cats. And she was just around the corner of the door, pretty much. They had just put her out. She had a respiratory at that time. She was less than a year old and was in a hoarder's house and had kittens herself. And she just started yowling at us like right away. And we look and here's this, you know, these really orange eyes, which is on a black cat is a hallmark of the American Bombay. And before that, we had a Bombay named Panther that had passed away a month before. So Oscar was by himself, and Troy was having a hard time because Panther was his cat. And so, you know, we see this little scrawny cat, and she's just telling us for all it's worth, and we had gone there to look at another Bombay cat. But ended up that wasn't happening. We went and stopped and had them take her out, and We sat with her for like an hour. There was a news crew there. They were doing a documentary about the Humane Society, so they interviewed us and about why we chose her, because by this point, you know, she was curled up in my jacket and she was kind of cold and stuff, and it was cold in there. And, you know, we had just fallen for her by that point. Ah, Spackle! Oh. Actually, no. It's Sitlamina. She was black with two whites. Well, one white spot on her chest and a big white-shaped heart on her tummy. But Sitlamina is actually Nahuatl or Aztec for the many stars in the sky, and we just called her Mina for short. But she was such a character though, because after we got done with the interview and stuff from the news crew, we went and had to put her back in the cage so we could fill out all the paperwork and everything. And she cussed us out. Oh my gosh, she was upset with us. It's like, hey, what are you doing? Why'd you put me back in here? What's wrong with you? And that's how it all started. And it's just been a little empty. Of course, Oscar's getting undivided attention right now. But, oh my God, the first night when she was gone, he got all upset and peed on my clothes. Oh yeah. Mina couldn't be held for a while at first, and she was really tender, and we thought it was from the spaying, and so did the Humane Society. But it turns out that she probably had a mass there to begin with, and nobody had caught on, you know. But yeah, first day or so, Oscar was just a bear. He was trying to pee everywhere that he could possibly can, and I was chasing him away from here and chasing him away from there, and he's settled down since. But I lost 2 guinea pigs this year too, and I keep feeling like I'm to this point right now where it's like, I guess it's the nurse in me that it's like, I should have done this, I should have done that. There wasn't anything I could do. The guinea pigs were old, and Mina had a cold in the spring, and that was it. That's the only sign she showed of anything. And so, I mean, there wasn't anything more I could do, but it's like that feeling is still there, like I should have done something, you know. And it's frustrating. Oh, yeah, your cat was peeing in weird places. Oh dear. Yeah, she got to where she couldn't breathe. And she stopped eating and drinking, and it's like, oh, we were supposed to have an ultrasound Tuesday. And, you know, my doctor's appointment in the morning and her ultrasound at the same time, and I just called and said we can't. And we went to this vet office that they were very, very nice. You know, we had been to another vet before when Panther passed away that they were just absolutely horrible to us. And not this office, though. They were really good. And so my son requested Mina's ashes, so we're waiting for that yet. And he's offered to pay on those, so. That one I'm not fully comfortable with doing, but he was pretty insistent about it because she was his kitty too, so. And then my daughter is, you know, she's off at college, and she had a guinea pig in the house she's staying in, and, well, she had 2 of them. And Vanilla just died too because she had tumors all over. But I guess Coco the guinea pig seems to be quite happy by herself. Yeah, they were both girls. Yeah. It isn't easy for me. And then with my mom having had to put Lance down this year, so there's no more horses. And it's just, you know, I'm gonna be 51 Monday. And it's just, you know, to have this feeling that entire eras of my life are gone. Oh my God. Friend had 2 Dachshunds that got out constantly. He was chasing them around. He absolutely hated them. Oh, good. So was he in the Humane Society when they called you, or that somebody brought him in? Really light-handed here because I don't, well, it's not going to matter if it goes all the way through yet, but I don't have to push this all the way through. Then I got a painting I'm sitting over here that I'm working on of Poppy the Troll. My mom used to be the animal control officer for the city we used to live in when I was little. So any stray animals like horses and cattle and stuff like that, they'd be brought to our place. And the horse, it was a pony, had stayed with us for a month. And if there wasn't going to be anybody to claim the pony, then the sheriff had already said it was going to be mine. I was like 6 years old. Was out there already riding the pony and everything, just this pretty little gray. And it wasn't a Shetland, so really good natured, because Shetlands are horrible. Oh, tempered. They're just, it was a Shetland that nearly busted my neck, that I ended up in a neck brace for 2 months. But this one, great pony. And then the people showed up at the last minute And basically what had happened is they managed to get free board for a month and not have to pay for food and anything else for him. And they loaded him in a trailer and took him away. And it's like, I was so upset. And the other kid that came with really didn't even want him, is the thing. Oh, I had my heart set, I'll tell you. Big time. But some of the things my mother saw, and she took me on some cases with her. Oh my word. Really bad. It's absolutely hideous. And I can't see having animals treated that way. But then my ex did some pretty horrible things with the animals he had too. And it was like constant fights with him. And so I was glad I was out of there, but my ex is the one who gunned down my wolf husky mix too, right in front of the kids, because she got loose and was chewing on a goat that had died, and this was during my divorce. The only problem was is he tried to say that she had killed the goat. He hadn't been feeding her, and I couldn't go onto the property, you know, because it was the middle of the divorce. I had no place to take her down here because, you know, the city I'm in, they wouldn't have allowed it. So, that month there were 4 more goats that just died after he had killed her. So it clearly was not her. But, yeah, did that in front of my kids, and my son was 9 years old at the time. Or 8, somewhere in there. So, yeah. And that's the type of person I was married to, and it's just like, no. If I'd have stayed with him, I don't think I would have been alive much longer. I don't think he would have done anything, but I was so close to offing myself. Throughout the entire marriage at that. It was really bad. And, once I was out of there, sure, just fine. You know, I went in and got some counseling and stuff, and then lived on my own for almost 5 years and figured out who I was and that I could be living on my own, because I went from my parents to him when I was 26. That's when I got married. Never left my parents before that. So it's like I had to learn to be myself. And of course Troy and I couldn't not talk to each other or anything like that, and that just turned into what it turned into, you know. But my kids were the only ones that were hanging me together back then. It was just utter hopelessness. And out in the middle of nowhere, all my friends were gone. He was trying to chase more friends away, what few I had. And wanting me to work 3 jobs. Having his girlfriends over. You know, just on and on and on. It was pretty bad. So both of my kids are actually glad they're out of the house. I don't blame them. I just don't. There you go. Just getting this base colors in. Oh, me too. I'm very glad it's better. you know, there are people who turn around and say, well, you know, depression and suicidal, you just got to go and suck it up and all of this. And that's not always the case, you know. I mean, it's rarely the case. Nobody in their right mind is going to turn around and just say that they're going to off themselves that day just because, you know. That's not how it works. And there are some people, some women trapped in abusive relationships and have, you know, where situational, they don't see anything else. And that's where I was. I stopped painting. I stopped singing. I stopped doing a lot of that. And I lost myself in the process. And I still sometimes get depressed if there's like too many bill collectors calling in one day or something. I mean, who doesn't? But no, it's not. There's no medication. There's nothing. I'm one of those that's gets situationally that way. Taking care of other people helps me, and definitely my artwork and stuff helps. And when my kids are home from school, and it's just, this is the goofiest household. You couldn't imagine how nuts we are around here. Oh yeah. I managed to find myself. The divorce completed and started in the middle of 2005 and ended in July of 2007. So it's been a long time. And it was worth it. I mean, the bill-wise it wasn't. Oh my word. We won't get into how much I still owe my divorce lawyer. That was pretty bad. But he's remarried to somebody he had a kid with when he was married to me. And his family had told me that those two are absolutely made for each other. And, of course, he doesn't like that his family and I still talk. So, you know, sometimes you get what's coming to you, you know? So, what goes around comes around. What do you think here, huh? Kind of like the stripes down his side like that. I wonder if I'm gonna even do the scales on him. I might not. This kind of looks like that might end up being more work than I really need to do. I mean, I don't do the scales on my dragons, so I don't know. Let's see how this works. Kind of fond of the little stripy stuff I've got happening here. So he's probably not going to look like a full, legit Kirin, but I don't care. Huh. Let's go this side. Take some of this and add another stripe on to the other side yet. I kind of like that. Get your face over there. So I'll have to add his mane and stuff yet. I don't think he's going to have a very big mane because he's probably a young little guy. My gosh, I sound like Bob Ross. We got this happy little tree here, and there's this little cabin over here. Buried the bodies behind this happy little bush over here. Oh, bad joke, bad joke. There we go. I like the stripies. I do like that. Okay, other side. Know what I'm doing now. Just get these base colors down. I was watching season 16 of Project Runway again. Forgot how much fun that would be. Not that I could do that. I don't know how to sew. I can sew by hand very well. But sewing machines kind of scare me. First, my last experience with one was my home ec class when I was like 8 years old. And I had to make this gym bag or something. I hated that project so much. And the sewing machine just scared me. And I had this teacher who was not very understanding of the whole thing. So I'm not going to be able to do the stripes till I get more of his hip over here. Which means I'm going to be starting on the legs pretty quick here. Come on. Pack in there. This is just so meditative for me sometimes. I can just sit here and do this. Well, obviously for hours if I'm making 4-foot-long dragons. It kind of has to be hours then. Had to move the mouse so that the laptop doesn't go into screensaver. Oh, I can't wait to get that stripey on the other side. I think I'm going to put some along his neck and stuff too, just a little bit, just to differentiate right here. So let's figure out what we're doing there. Maybe. That should be the dark. just like to have that line to make the difference along there. Just kind of makes the belly color stand out just a little bit more. Those little artistic. Of course, after all this manipulating and everything, I'll have to tighten some wool back down in various parts like his horns and stuff, just because. There we go. I actually kind of like how that just disappears because it's darker right here originally. Alright, so let's do the other side. Not dark enough. My hands are so dry that the wool is just sticking to me. Nothing I can do about that. That's black. I don't want to do that. I want to save that for body striping. There's the brown. Got the wool in a bag beside my chair here. There. Okay. I'll have to fix that horn because that one's like doubling over and stuff, but okay, little guy. Hoping I can get him done before Wednesday. We're gonna have him up in the auctions. We're gonna have several things up. Not sure if I'm going to auction off Cecilia yet or not, because shipping her is going to be a nightmare. Especially if somebody does international. She's heavy. That's not going to be fun shipping, or trying to do packaging for her is going to be a challenge. That's going to be one really heavy package. I'm not sure on that yet. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's cute. We're starting to get this little gazelle type thing happening here. That's awesome. There's Wiggly Leg. Lock that in a little bit more. Get a little bit more green right there. That's better. Okay. All right. I suppose continue with some more greens down here, and then I'll be ready to start sculpting those last legs. Sudden silence here. Sticking my tongue out. Alright. And a little bit on this side. Yeah. That's a good color. There we go. There's a lot of stabby, stabby, stabby. All right, getting there. I'm gonna grab a little bit more of that purple, grayish stuff that's happening in that batch of wool. Carry over from his hip. Yeah. There we go. And its tail, of course, is nowhere near packed enough or anything. That's going to take more work after I get the legs. And I am trying to keep my fingers out of the way. And for anyone who is new to this and hasn't watched my streams before or hasn't dealt with needle felting, what I'm using here is different colors of wool roving, which is just wool that's being really, really super fluffy. This is before it's spun into yarn. I don't dye my own right now. I have a bunch that I need to buy a mechanical carder to separate out the fibers. I have hand cards right now, but they're really hard for me to use. After that, I'll start dyeing my own because I have about, I don't know, 90 pounds of alpaca fiber I have to wash and card. I get the gunk out of it and straighten up all the fibers and get them ready to spin. So I'll take that wool like that, and you take these really sharp barb needles, and these have little tiny barbs on them. This needle goes into this holder about this far. About right there. When you have any sort of animal fiber, human hair, cat hair, dog hair, wool, alpaca, anything like that, if you look under a microscope, those fibers of the hair, the keratin forms little scales. And so what this needle is doing is locking all those scales together to be able to form shapes. And it does not work with plant fibers. So this is not a vegan craft by any means. But I enjoy it. It's cheaper than working in bronze, and it certainly isn't as heavy or involving fire, which I'm afraid of fire. Not as bad as I used to be, but I was pretty bad for a while. Although sculpting in bronze did kind of liberate me a little bit that way, because I got to pour my own molten metal, and my molds, when for the one piece that I did got packed, it didn't get packed all the way, so there, and it wasn't all the way dry, so there was still little drops of water inside this hardened sand. It was chemically hardened around the wax form that I had made. So when they poured the bronze into this, it volcanoed right out of the mold. It was actually really cool. Quite the experience. So when I do my interview on Friday with Shar, I'm going to be, I'm going to have two of my bronzes up here. One of them is one of my dragons. The first dragon I sculpted. And she was done back in 93, I think. So, yeah, I'll be doing that again. Bringing her out of storage. But this is so much easier to deal with. And it's kind of fun because, again, I get to see people's reactions to my work. You know, it's like, yeah, feel free to touch it. You know, feel free to hold this and interact with it. And little kids especially. You either get little kids that are terrified, which I've run into, or they want to, but they think they want to pet it, but they think they're going to be in trouble if they do, or something like that. And so it's just really, really cool to see how people respond. And to me, it's much more satisfying than bronze because of that aspect. Although you do run into people who have no clue how much work goes into this. We had that happen at one craft show we did this year, where I have all these nice little pumpkins that I've needle felted. And you've seen the process on this. I don't have styrofoam inside of him or anything. This is all wool. He doesn't even have wire. So these little pumpkins, you know, I take the wool, I make a round ball, and I start, you know, packing it in tighter and tighter and felting this nice little pumpkin. Well, except, you know, I've got the little pumpkins priced at $5 each, which is cheap. But people, you know, they're expecting Walmart. And they're expecting that these are, yeah, filled with styrofoam or whatever. And so it hasn't been, when I thought that these little pumpkins I made would sell, it's turned out that they didn't. But I'm going to be getting my own section of the booth, or my own rack, that's going to be nothing but my needle felting. And that'll include the pumpkins and the things that I make. But needle felting's kind of like busting people's expectations of things, because it's not a craft that most people are exposed to very often. And they don't know what they're looking at or anything like that. I mean, there's people who think they're stuffed animals, not sculptures. Okay, so this one's gonna have to go under this way. So his foot's gonna have to go like that. Okay. Let's lock that in place. Right now I'm just packing it, and then I'll start bending and shaping it, working it. Hey, heavy hauler! We just watched somebody on Project Runway that ran the machine needle through their finger. Okay. Why so much fluffy everywhere? It's fluffy. It's so fluffy I could die. Oh, I guess non sequitur show their last thing didn't work out so good. Oh well. Oh. Yeah, I tried to record building on Minecraft yesterday and got a little bit done only because it kept stalling when I was trying to place blocks. And of course that was for Dragon Coast, so that I think it was because I'm going to be doing this mirrored hall, so I have this huge open space inside a building right now. And because if I went to any other parts of the build and tried to place blocks, I didn't have any delay. So it was just really irritating. Still got to upload that and 2 from Como Park Zoo. And tomorrow I'm going to try and hold a hangout to just not any more than to just test my remembering my knowledge of Google Hangouts, because I forgot that I had hosted a Google Hangout with Deconverted Man in Minecraft. We had done it, and it was on my old computer, so if I succeeded once on that old beast, I should be able to do it again, correct? Yeah, so that's going to be where the bend in the foot is. Oh. Yeah, I haven't been in SL for a while. I just don't have time because I've been in Mabinogi so much. That one game from Nexon. And then occasionally I'm popping on Paranor's server because I didn't feel inspired after all this disaster I've had in the last few weeks, so got back to doing that again though. And I go through these streaks. It's so hard for me to do a Minecraft series because I'll go and like 1 week I'll feel like playing Life in the Woods, and then the next week I want to do nothing but work on Paranor's server. Then there's another week I feel like going back to Minecraft. Then it's art. Then I don't want to do anything at all. And I just keep fluctuating like that. So trying to be consistent like other YouTubers are with specific series, I have a really hard time with it. I just think it's funny because Troy and I used to play Orcs in Neverwinter Nights. I had a female bard orc named Burbag Velkus, and we had the tribe of hunters that she was part of. Yeah. Boy, the DMs in Neverwinter did not like that I had an orc bard. They wouldn't let me go above level 10 with her, because they thought that there was no way that an orc could have a high enough charisma that the gods on their world would accept her. Well, they had their own culture, you know? Why wouldn't they have their own culture? So that's how Troy and I played, was that they had their own culture. And so we've kind of stuck with that. And orcs actually were one of our favorite races to role play, because they're pretty darned awesome. But the culture we were doing with them, we were basing it off of the Aztecs. And so we had, they had this one tool that somebody had scripted where you could use the tool and then type in other languages, and anyone who had that specific language on could understand it, you know, in the type chat. But so we would actually sit there and figure out what each of these words were in Orcish, and then we would actually communicate on what is it, IRC and some other forms, and speak in Orcish and stuff, and it was pretty fun. And then mix that with the Aztec culture, and it was pretty great. But it got so popular that this server we were on, the DMs were so mad at us because everybody wanted to play, you know, wanted to be part of that group. And so they just started taking it really weird and then tried to get me off of there and stuff. And it was like, yeah, that's just enough of that. Had enough. Hi, I was just talking about your channel earlier. When I started this stream, I was talking about your channel and how much fun I had watching your flame patterned finger weaving that you were doing. Because I absolutely loved that. That was so awesome. Well, hopefully if this video processes right, it'll be permanently there, you know? Well, in case you didn't see, this is the little guy I'm working on right now. Let me zoom out a little bit. No, it's not going to let me. Oh, this is Cypress. There we go. Got him angled a little better. A lot of work to go yet, but he's a cutie. Oh yeah, we just somehow, because Troy wanted to get a degree in cultural anthropology, specializing with the Aztecs, and so that's how we ended up going that direction in the first place with our band of orcs. And of course there are more primitive groups, and then there's the scout groups and stuff like that, you know, where they're out kind of keeping an eye on the humans and on the dark elves and things like that. So pretty involved culture by the time we had gotten to it. And then there was this this big battle that ensued because somebody took the writings that Troy and I did and had published on this site on the internet for that world we were playing on, and all the stuff had the copyright dates and everything. Well, they took all of it and tried to lay claim as theirs, and so the fight was on. I mean, in part I was flattered that they really liked what we did, but they didn't change anything either. They just grabbed it and said that they did it. Oh yeah. He likes his Aztec stuff. Just gotta get this foot going. Now you guys do make sure to go and click on Weaving Illustrator and hop onto her channel too. You gotta see her stuff. I've for a long time I played mostly elves, but I've gotten a lot more flexible over the years as I've gotten older, I think. It's like I'm not overly picky. Not anymore. But the most fun I've had role-playing, I have to admit, has been playing an orc. I did play another one, though, that was a serial killer. He was trying to, first off, trying to get caught, but nobody was into role-playing enough on that Neverwinter server to actually do anything about it. So here he's going and making, you know, people disappear and stuff, and he was sacrificing them and taking their body parts and trying to assemble a whole new creature that he was going to, he was trying to create a demon that could possess him and turn him into a demon. So really complex ideas that this character had. So he was interesting. I'd have dungeon masters that often had me try and play serial killers for them, or I had one where I was actually hired to play a drow matron. That one was fun. Because she actually was half drow, and she thought that Loth was a traitor to the drow people. And she was trying to get it so that they could be back on the surface and have their rightful place back on the surface again. And so she actually was a military commander and stuff, and she was really, really one of my other favorites to play because she was just so complex. And actually, you know, she was a lawful evil, so she was, you know, the dark paladin or whatever you want to call it. I think in the rule book it was a black knight, but she was just she had ended up jailed for trying to chase a demon out of a paladin. And somehow they just managed to take her down to the dungeons, forgot to give her a trial, and part of the dungeons had collapsed and left her there. And they forgot, the queen and the nobles forgot about her. until somebody figured out that, hey, where did she go? So they found her and brought her back, and the queen felt bad enough that she had to form an alliance with my drow matron. And, you know, it was, my drow matron never broke a law within the city limits or anything like that. And she wasn't actually out to take over humans or anything. She wanted to get rid of her own mother. So, yeah, just super complex. I'm a D&D player that I like the stories behind things. All right, let's give you the base of the pad for your foot. I should get back into writing some more, but doing more than I'm doing now, but I'm totally changing the focus of my stories. And it used to be all D&D based and stuff, and it's like now I just want to work on the little world that these creatures come from. That I have this English cottage, and that these are the little guys, that the trolls and the dragons and stuff are what I find in my garden, and there's certain magic items that allow them to communicate with each other and with me and stuff like that, and just do this whole thing like that, stemming from wee little ones books to teenagers. And that's kind of where I want to go with my writing now. I'm tired of the angsty drama stuff. I just want to come up with things that sound like actual lore that you might find in a village somewhere out in the middle of England or Ireland, you know. And get away from the darkness. I mean, the first story I'm working on, a squirrel steals a magic item because it's shiny and it looks cool. And it's a squirrel. I mean, squirrels do what squirrels do. So, you know, things like that. That's what I want to focus on. And it lends right into my art. And I'm perfectly happy with that. There's enough people writing Dungeons and Dragons fantasy, and there's George R.R. Martin, and I can't top that. You know? Yeah, I got that leg right. Would not have been happy if I'd have gotten that leg wrong. Heavy. Hubby and I had it that the orcs and the dwarves actually had a lot of respect for each other, even though they were somewhat enemies, you know. They would ally with each other and help each other out if the situation really called for it. Neither group had much respect for elves. And orcs thought that elves were pretty much food. Although one of my other drow characters ended up becoming one of the hunters with the orcs. She went through the tattoo ceremony, had to eat the heart of a bear and all of that stuff. So yeah, that was pretty fun. And she died with honors. Died in battle. Well, you know, and that's where you get your smattering of gnomes and throw them in his appetizers. World of Warcraft, I always played the Tauren too. I wasn't, I mean, I played humans for a while, and I did have other characters, but Tauren was still my favorite. I like those weird non-human races, I guess. Sorry, I'm just trying to use the edge of the foam here. Doing the detail work, and I really don't want to drive this through my fingers. There we go. All right. Flatten this out a little bit more. There. Oh, bugger me. Okay. Went a little too deep with that needle. All right. Better. So yeah, the bottom of his foot's gonna be sticking out underneath. So let's add a little more green to his leg. I'll add the feathering like on his fronts, like on his front legs after I get his legs attached. I can do that off camera. So again, I gotta get him done before Wednesday. At least, unlike some other women I know and I've talked to that have had hysterectomies, at least I know that I have stuff to do that keeps me occupied. Oh, come on, sweetie, really? Oh, and weaving illustrator, Tezcat Lapoca is my husband. And yeah, he's had enough of hospital chairs and stuff for a while. It has not been a fun month. I had my hysterectomy and ligament suspension. They had to move the bladder and other things back into place. That was October 4th, so hubby's definitely had too much of hospital chairs and things. Alright, boy, this is not cooperating with me. Of course, I don't have to have such fine shape on this leg because it's going to be squished under the other one, under the body. I'd like to get some shape in here. I don't know where my 3-prong tool is. Probably on my main computer desk. There we go. I'll just have to keep working until I get this delicate look without it being delicate. At least I'm better about not going off camera so much now. I know I had trouble with that for a while. My stepdad had that at the beginning of the year. Had to have that redone. Well, yeah, more than enough hospitals for everybody, I think. There we go, that's looking better. Make sure that's going to be going that way. Yeah. I don't have Oscar Six Toes in here weaving. If he would have been in here, I'd have moved the camera over to him. Tez Cat and I were just laughing when your cat was on the back of the chair constantly. Oh, it's just funny because it's exactly what Oscar does. Boy, that's being really stubborn right there. Well, let's see. It's not any fatter than the fronts. Okay. I got you sitting on too much stuff, don't I? Now that one leg. Your leg's not cooperating. Stab, stab, stab. Oh. There we go. That'll be better. Don't give me that look. Why are you looking at me like that? Oh, Loki's cute. I love your cat. He's just cute. Alright, so I need a little bit more. Well, that's my color for the stripies. Let's not take away from my stripy color. Might have to go back to depth of field and get some more of this stuff. Oh, I got more stripy color. Oh, good. Alright. Should go and raid their wool again. Minneapolis, Minnesota, depth of field, fantastic knitting store, and they've got needle felting supplies too. That's right. That's gonna be going like that. So this is the side I need to add the coloration in. Long as Loki doesn't go running around with this staff with an infinity stone in it, we're good. Oh, cats with infinity stones. Ah! No. That would be bad. I want to get this leg attached tonight. Before my headache gets a little worse. So this is going to have to go up. Got the back joint to deal with. And the hocks. That's the underside. I originally got him, it was under the impression he was a she. I had named her Sif since fur was immaculate. I had a cat named Roxanne. That was a long-haired cat. And got her from the Humane Society, and she was supposed to be spayed in like a month. Well, again, super fluffy kitty. And the poor cat had bad response to pretty much any cat food. We could only have one specific type of cat food. So it started out that Roxanne was having hideously loose stools. I mean, just everywhere. She couldn't control it. So this cat hated to be picked up, but yet she liked baths. So I started giving her, you know, trying to get her cleaned up, give her a bath. And I'm looking at the back, and I called the vet, and I said, I think this is a Tom. He's like, no, we had the examination. That's a female cat. I said, well, it's either a tomcat or this female cat's got some weird cancerous growths back there. So they go to spay Roxanne and called me in the middle of the procedure and said, you're right, it's a tomcat. Do you still want him neutered? And I'm like, yeah. So this vet would have pictures of all the animals that came to see them. And so they had the picture of Rocky, formerly known as Roxanne. But that cat was with us for quite a long time. It took him a long time to learn how to purr and stuff. He had been abused, and he just, you know, he had trouble adjusting to a lot of things, but towards the end of his life, he was grooming my forehead, and he was purring like crazy, and just, he was funny. We traveled with him all over. We had a traveling cage so we could take Rocky and Rascal up to the cabin and stuff like that, and it was just a great cat with a very strange beginning. Yeah, that red rocket might be a little giveaway there. That's too funny. Well, the apartment I was in with my ex-husband, we didn't tell the management that we had cats, you know. We had the one, but we didn't tell them about the second. So at one point, they had, it's looking like a chicken drumstick here. They had a problem in our bathroom to bedroom with black mold, so they had to take apart the entire bathroom. And we went and we bought these kitty glitters, you know, those little glitter pom-pom balls. And we kept buying them, and we're buying them by the cases, so there's 100 in a package, you know. And it's like, where are they all going? So here the contractors went and started pulling the grates down in the bathroom, the floor grates. And all of these kitty glitters scattered everywhere, and the contractor looks at me and says, you have a cat, don't you? Rocky had his stash in the grates in the bathroom. All of his toys ended up in there, and then he wanted more toys. I was like, what is wrong with you, cat? Crazy animals, I swear. Okay. Might have to redo some of my stripies, but that's okay. Let's go right there with that. Yeah, I will have to redo some of the stripies. But I just want to get this locked into place tonight. There we go. Yeah, he's not a traditional Kirin with all the scales and everything, because I've got more of a look of a deer on this one. And that's okay. I like it. Yeah, I think that's going to work out nice. And it does, it looks like it is buckling under the body like it's supposed to. Awesome. Yeah. That's all I have to do is just stabby, 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 and the legs attach right into, the fibers lock right into the body. That's how I did this whole thing. And Cecilia the Dragon was done the same way. Except with her, I started with the wire armature too, so. And then wrapped the armature in wool and then needle felted to it. But some of her extra, there's some extra pieces on her that are just locked in just like this. Okay, and I'm going to lock it down further this way because I don't want that leg separated from the body too far. So I'm just going to stab it down some more. But believe me, heavy hauler, people will try to separate these. I'm not joking. People will give it a shot. Right in front of me, too. Oh, that annoys the daylights out of me. Yeah, there you go. The leg's locked into place. Not budging without tearing. So that is this leg back here coming forward this way. So the other leg is going to be here and kind of folded over top of this one. So it'll be going that direction right over top of that leg. So I think I've got a bit of a headache and I need to eat something. So I think we're going to call it tonight. But there he is. I'm so thrilled. Oh man. So I'm going to have to work on him some more tomorrow and try to get him done in the next couple of days. And I also wanted to show you guys what I do for the eyes here. I do shape the eye socket first, then put the eye in, and then glue it, and then sculpt more around it. But these are the eyes I had gotten in a pack from eBay. Of course, now they're flipped the wrong way. They're not actually eyes, they're just glass cabochons. And I bought 400 of them for 20 bucks. And I have another bag, but there's matched sets between the two. There was 2 batches of 200. And best thing I could have done. I was so thrilled they were that cheap. Let's see how he lays down on the table here. This, I might have to flatten him out a little bit more that way. Let's do that yet. I just noticed he was kind of up on that leg a little too much. But this will help lock it down some more. Let's see how he sits. See, my problem is how he's sitting back on this side. He's kind of elevated off the table. So I might have to squish him down a little bit more. Yep, something bugged me. It bothered me. I must fix it. Because I might have to do some more fixing when I don't have the looming headache. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to have to flatten it out more here. Maybe build up a little bit more right here. I don't know. I wanted his body to be flat on the table. I'll figure it out. Okay, I'm going to call it a night, you guys. And thank you for popping in. And Weaving Illustrator, I am so glad you came to see me tonight. That was awesome. Like I said to everybody, check out her channel. She's got some really great weavings on there. Just fantastic stuff to watch. And a very cute cat. So I hope you guys had a good time. And anybody who's popping by later, take a look at my GoFundMe and, you know, stuff in the description. And thank you. I'm glad you think he's cute. I think he's cute too. I just love him. He actually, weaving was inspired by my in-laws' English Springer Spaniel. When he looks like he's getting in trouble and the whites of the eyes start showing underneath, you know, they get that baggy-eyed look. And that's, my father-in-law goes and says, I said, well, what should I do? Should I make him a dragon? What should I make him? And my father-in-law said, make him a naughty Springer Spaniel. And so, yeah, it happened. All right, you guys, have a fantastic night. Blessed be everybody. How do I stop this crazy thing?